Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy GZTV back with another video, and holy shit, just got done watching Anchorman 2 The Legend Continues, the 2013 continuation, the sequel to the original Anchorman. We obviously covered that over the weekend, and we are here with the sequel after just covering Euphoria as well. I have to fucking say it, I did not expect this at all. Usually comedy sequels we saw recently with the Happy Gilmore sequel, they hit the fucking dirt, and I'm gonna say it right now. I know this might be a hot take, I don't know critically where everyone's at with this, but I think it's better than the original. I don't even think it's particularly close. Like, yeah, this movie is ridiculous, it's over the top, certainly people aren't gonna like the goofiness of it and the slapstick of it. It's borderline stupid at times, but I had an absolute blast with this. I love damn near everything about this movie. It's damn near a perfect comedy, and not only is it better than the original, it is one of the best comedies I think I have ever seen. And I do not remember this movie being as good, even though I do remember the hype going into it. You know, Drake was in it, Kanye was in it. It's a fucking wild one, so let's get into it. Getting into the premise, I mean, this time around, Ron Burgundy is basically a washed up news reporter. He loses his job. I don't even remember what he got fired for originally. His marriage falls apart because of it, and like, they're trying to try out basically to become news anchors, I think, and Mick Fannin, I think his name was, pulls them into his office. He's like, you're fucking fired. You're gonna become the national news anchor. You're gonna become Mrs. Big Time to Christina Applegate's character Veronica, and that's obviously a dream for both of them. And the marriage falls apart. It's like, it's either me or the job, and she obviously chooses the job. Their relationship falls out, and his life just completely goes downhill. And then he gets a shot of redemption on a 24 hours news network. He sees someone in a diner that like offers him like, hey, we want you to come cast for our 24-hour news network. It's never been done before. It's a little silly, especially at the time, and he decides to. It turns into him kind of going out looking for his old pals, kind of like what they did with the new Space Jam movie, I think it was. There's ratings battles, there's media chaos, Ron Burgundy basically becoming a celebrity again because of his up and rising in the graveyard shift. He's talking about chase scenes and crazy shit, but this time there's actually a lot more going on than just the laughs. There's a lot of dope story threads that we are going to get to in the review. So let's go. So getting into the good, it's kind of crazy that this is a bigger movie, a crazier movie, and somehow a better movie, because usually when a franchise falls into the trap of going big or going home, they usually end up going fucking home anyway because of how shit of a movie it is, how over the top it is. I know my bed is like a complete mess. Let me fix that for a second, hold on. Hey dipshit in the comments, is that fucking better for you? I got my bed made. You happy now? What are you, my fucking father? Anyways, this movie gets way bigger than the first. Again, that is an extreme risk that a lot of sequels take. Sometimes it is a little much. I mean, sure, there's definitely moments I can acknowledge where it goes a little over the top, but I absolutely love the over the top chaos. I think it is done appropriately. I think it is done strategically and very intelligently in this movie. The news team battle scene, of course, is like the highlight of this film, and if you think the news team battle scene from the first movie was crazy, whew, I still think that scene is better just like because of the principle and some of the comedy that comes with it, but this one is fucking wild. It seems like a lot of fan service, and I'm sure there's people out there on the internet that think that they went way over the top with what they were doing with that, but it might be one of the greatest comedy scenes I've ever seen. And obviously all of the different fucking celebrity cameos, all of the different appearances from well-known comedians and rappers also. I mean, obviously like Will Smith's in this one. You get Jim Carrey, who I actually said in my previous review this movie would be great if Jim Carrey was in it. I mean, obviously Adam Sandler, we didn't get that fulfilled, but you get Sacha Baron Cohen, Ricky Bobby, Mr. Borat, you get Liam Neeson from Naked Gun, you get John C. Reilly, who is a running mate basically for Will Ferrell throughout his comedic career, and you get fucking Kanye West. And again, like I said, you get Drake at the beginning of the film. You got an ass that'll, I don't even remember what he said, I'll play the line here actually.
Ron Burgundy, that lady's got an ass like a Loch Ness monster. Thing is mysterious, ever sought after.
Just everyone pulling up for absolute chaos, and again, it does feel like a fan service. It does feel like a cheap moment for this movie to pull off, even if that scene is like 10 minutes and it really isn't that big of a part of the movie. And honestly, I don't think the final battle is really what this movie is about. It's worth the entire movie. It's worth watching the whole thing and like getting into the cast that we loved before, and we'll get into some of those people in a second, how refined some of those characters are. But also, I will comment on the good. Ron Burgundy actually has a story, actually has some emotion, actually has something for you to kind of grasp onto this time around, and I really enjoyed that. I think this is where the sequel damn near surprised me the most. I mean, obviously it is absolutely bonkers. That's probably going to be my thumbnail, but first movie kept it pretty simple. You know, it was an hour and a half. It was nice and simple, nice and fairy tale. Kind of has the underdog. I mean, these two movies kind of share that. They kind of have like the underdog nature to them, but it's way more simple and a lot less shit happens in that movie. But this one, it damn near feels like a sports movie. Just the atmosphere, just kind of the attitude towards like, yeah, we're gonna go get them, we're gonna crush these ratings. Underdog story, fall from grace, go fucking blind because of how bitter your contemporary is to you. You come back, you get family redemption, you reconcile with your wife and kids. I actually like that. It feels like fucking Happy Gilmore, it feels like Creed, it feels like all these crazy sports movies. Him going blind is obviously ridiculous, but it not only adds to the emotion but the comedy of it as well. Living in a lighthouse like an absolute dumbass. I mean, what the fuck are you doing? You're living in a lighthouse. Reconnecting with his son. I do love his relationship. Will Ferrell, I think that might be his actual son in this movie. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's not. That stuff actually adds something. Low-key, one of the best parts of the movie is some of his conversations he has with his son when they're walking, because you really get Ron Burgundy being a human in moments like that, and I think that is amazing. And just getting into Brick absolutely steals the movie. Steve Carell is how you say it. I mean, where the fuck do I begin? He is one of the best comedic actors of all time. He is in some of my favorite comedy movies of all time. Look at the 40-year-old version especially. That's literally probably my favorite comedy ever. Brick is even better in this than he was in the first film, and I don't really ask for much when you talk about side characters. I don't know what it is lately with some of the movies we've been talking about, but he's the highlight of this one. The relationship with Shawnee, last name, so stupid. The dumbest dialogue imaginable. Some of the dumb shit he says, some of the stupid noises he makes, just kind of the physical comedy, the way he kind of like runs off from like asking her on a date, and their first date's in the fucking laundromat, and they're like at the soda machine. It's the nicest soda machine someone has taken me to. And they start like making out, and he's like shoving her ass against the fucking window. It's crazy. Him going over to the lighthouse, and they're kind of like checking in on him because they're worried, you know, he's blind. They want to see how he's living. And he's like, made you guys some crackers with like some pimento on it, pimento leaf. And it's like a junk drawer. It's like change, a screwdriver, a bunch of stupid shit. And he eats it. He's like, no. And he eats it. He's like, I need the recipe. For what? I mean, this man is eating coins, screws. Somehow it's so fucking funny. I love it. He might honestly be one of the funniest characters in comedy just for his entry in this movie. And just getting into the comedy, I think the comedy just hits harder. This is a way more funny movie than the original. It's just way more funnier. I mean, flat out. Not just because it's dumb. Again, it is cleverly dumb. Brushing your teeth with a lobster. Stuff like that. Stupid shit. Him being blind and like using that as an excuse to not know what the fuck he's doing. You would have been able to tell that was a lobster, not a toothbrush, right? You know, those are two distinct feelings. He doesn't use his other senses. Like the slow motion car crash, like when they're in the Winnebago motorhome or whatever, and they fucking crash it, and the slow-mo of them like flying through the air, shrimp hitting him in the mouth, like shit hitting people in the balls, like so fucking funny. That is an all-timer. That's a very goofy one, but an all-timer. It's so stupid, but it absolutely knows it's stupid. I think that's why it works, and I think a lot of the characters in this movie channel their inner Jim Carrey. I think Jim Carrey had a lot to do with why the comedy is this way, and the satire is actually great, just kind of getting into the clever part of the comedy and not just the slapstick. I think this is something the first movie didn't hit as hard because obviously there's topics at hand in the first one, you know, talking about sexism and the work environment and stuff like that, and maybe that's a little bit more here, but this movie really ramps it up. I mean, this one is clearly making fun of like modern news, clickbait, sensationalism, you know, trying to make a spectacle, trying to get people to tune into your news program and kind of compromising all the basic ethical rules of journalism and stuff. We don't want facts, we want entertainment, and it's perfect when they're like sitting at the news table or whatever and they're like planning this whole thing, and Will Ferrell's like, what if we get people what they want and not what they need? That's real. I mean, that's absolutely how modern media works. You look at CNN, you look at Fox News. Like, as a YouTuber, I absolutely get it. You want to get clicks. Talking about politics, talking about gossip, having national pride, talking about utter chaos and negativity. That's what people want. And that's what news became. It's what this movie touched upon. This movie nails that evolution, and like, there's some wild humor, even like offensive jokes and racism this movie touches on. This movie absolutely goes there. Any definition of there that you could think of, this movie goes there. Very uncomfortable moments, straight chaos. I mean, the Ron and Lisa dinner scene, again, I'm not a racist, I don't condone discrimination. If it comes from a place of malice, I don't condone it, but like here, we're just making laughs. I mean, the Ron and Lisa dinner scene, insane, funny as hell. Comedy isn't supposed to be safe, and this movie understands that. So we're gonna get into the bad. And getting into the bad, anytime I talk about a good movie. I have to say, like, the bad is more of me acknowledging where people would have problems rather than the problems I have with the movie itself, because otherwise we wouldn't have much of a section here. I do understand this is a bit over the top. I completely understand if that turns you off and you're like starting to watch it and then people are yelling and sounding like hyenas and shit. I understand that. It does go overboard. Like, it's super exaggerated humor. There's borderline nonsense. I mean, there's a lot of nonsense here. There's definitely some moments where you're kind of just like this. Even though I liked it, it won't work for everyone. And again, I just have to kind of be aware of that. I have to come from an understanding here. And it is a bit long as well. You definitely feel the runtime. There are moments where you're kind of thinking this could have been trimmed down a bit. And I don't really know specific examples, but a comedy to damn near be 2 hours long is damn near unheard of. And a comedy to be good and be damn near 2 hours long is definitely unheard of. But I will say, I think a positive in the bad here is that they pulled that off well, in my personal opinion. So let's get going. So getting into the just kind of discussing the ending. I'm a little mixed on how this ends because, I mean, you got to think this does end the franchise. I don't think they plan on doing a trilogy. I did read online that some cast members were on board with the idea. I don't think they're ever going to do it. I mean, I know they waited 9 years. Certainly they can wait damn near 15 for the third one to come out. I don't know. Those characters are getting a little old. It's going to stretch plausibility. Ending isn't super satisfying for closing the whole thing off. Like, Ron doesn't necessarily win in a big way, but it's definitely heartwarming. I definitely think they sacrificed that for a heartwarming thing. I get why they went that route, going to his son's recital, getting through this battle, not even really like winning or losing the battle at the end of the day. Maybe there's a message there. Maybe it's like family matters above all or something. I think that can be beautiful. I mean, obviously it's a little cliche, it's a little corny and stuff like that, but maybe that's what they were going for. I don't really know, honestly. And some characters definitely take a backseat, which I'm a little mixed on. I think we talked about Brick, we talked about Ron Burgundy, but like the two other members of the news crew from the original movie, Champ and Brian, definitely take a backseat. They're still funny, but not nearly as memorable as Brick, and there are definitely some moments I think of off the top of my head from the first film with each of these characters. I do think it's funny how like Brian got really rich and ended up making a fortune off of like taking cat pictures and shit like that. That's pretty funny, like how they reintroduce him back in the storyline. And I think that's a lot of the comedy for both of these characters. Like even Champ, he ended up getting in trouble for like drinking and driving or some weird shit, or like sexual assault or something absolutely insane that only a macho man like Champ would do. Ended up opening a chicken restaurant where the chicken is bats, and like this whole thing's whammy, the whammy combo. That's funny. I think that stuff is funny, but throughout the movie, I don't know. And I do think in the first film, like Champ being like overly sexual towards women, Brian, the whole Sex Panther thing, and I guess they kind of pay homage to that with like the fight sequence. I just don't think these characters were as funny this time around, but that's fine. That's why it's put in the because it's like there's so many other funny elements and components and other characters that come to the mix, and there's a whole other relationship with Ron Burgundy and Linda. It's fucking crazy. Getting into the review, I know not a lot of people are going to agree with me, but overall I think Anchorman 2 is everything a sequel should be. It's bigger, it's crazier, it's more funny, it's more emotional. It just kind of takes everything that happened in the first movie and ramps it up to 10, and I absolutely enjoy that. Again, it's definitely an acquired taste. Some people won't enjoy what they're doing with this, some people will. I'm definitely in the positive camp. It takes everything from the first movie, again, just pushes it further. I think that works absolutely perfect for what they're going for with a sequel, and not just a sequel, something that will end up closing the franchise, because some of these comedy franchises don't know when to stop, and this one seems like they're putting the stamp on it, like, here we go, this is the final movie, and what a way to go out. So many cameos, so much fan service to all the fans of these legendary comics over the years. Jim Carrey, are you kidding me? Like all these people, Liam Neeson, John C. Reilly, Will Smith. It's the funniest movie in kind of this little comedy run we've been doing so far, for sure, and honestly I'd watch this over the original any day of the week. I'm giving this a whole tier higher. I am giving this an 8.5 out of 10. It's not the best comedy of all time, but it might get up there. It might stand alone pretty soon if I keep watching this damn thing, because I love every second of it. I love what they go for. Again, Judd Apatow and Adam McKay continue to provide some of the best comedy films of all time. Judd Apatow really doesn't get his flowers enough, and this movie shows that. I mean, holy shit, that's 2013 and we're still making racist jokes and shit. That's insane. It's a pretty woke era at that time, and they still say, fuck it, we're gonna stay true to ourselves. So with that being said, I am out, guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Go check out all the socials. As always, this has been Jeezy TV. We're going on a comedy run, and I will say, with the play-in and the playoffs coming up, the production might not be as much. The output for me might not be as much, because I'm going to be watching a lot of these games, but NBA recaps, that's kind of what that is for. The supplemental content. Go check me out over there. Peace out.